Jeff. Welcome back to the Pet Buzz.
Glad to be here. Good day.
So what makes a good dog walking city? Because I can tell you right now, we don't live in one.
What's most important is walkability and pup-friendly trails, dog parks to walk to, safety, and services. And when I talk about pup-friendly trails, that's water fountains for people and for pups, and doggy bags and mutt mitts. You want to be able to walk with your dog and be able to pick everything up and also have refreshment for your dog along the way.
I would think having good lighting on some of the city streets where people are known to walk their dog, it would be a safety issue, right?
Absolutely. You want to walk where you feel safe because you want to walk with your dog where your dog feels safe. So you both want to be safe. You don't want to be walking in the middle of the night someplace where it's just a sketchy neighborhood.
How did you determine what cities were the best and the worst? And how many cities were in the survey and can name the top 3 of the best and the bottom 3 of the worst?
What we looked at were metrics, including the walk score for each city, the environmental factors, the best dog parking cities ranking, the number of dog-friendly trails, services, dog walkers per 100,000 residents, the average dog walker rate, and safety, the pedestrian fatalities per 100,000 residents, and the crime index. And for the top 5, those cities are Portland, Oregon, San Francisco, Oakland is at number 3, number 4 is Las Vegas, and number 5 is Boise. The bottom 5 are worst: Jackson, Mississippi, Wichita, Kansas, Port St. Lucie, Garland, Texas, and Memphis.
Because you can't find dog housing, maybe more people are moving to Oakland so they can still be near San Francisco. And then you said Boise?
Oddly enough, Boise has more dog parks per 100,000 residents than any place else in this country. So that's where Boise does really well, and that's what brings them to the leader of the pack. Plus, they're just growing so fast that they're making amenities for dogs part of their welcome package for new residents.
Talk about the safest cities and what makes those cities safe.
There's no database of dog napping. So there wasn't anything to go with there, but we went for pedestrian fatalities per 100,000 residents and then just the crime index. Okay. Because if you're safe, then your dog is most likely to be safe. And tied for number 1 were 5 cities: Frisco, Texas; Glendale, California; Sioux Falls, South Dakota; Irvine, California; and Sunnyvale, California. The least safe, the most dangerous, would be Fort Lauderdale, Albuquerque, Tucson, Macon, Georgia, and Orlando, Florida.
I don't know. I guess that's kind of compatible with that.
Have you noticed like they're either from the West or they're from like the South, kind of? A little few from the Midwest.
And I think it's kind of small too, because Frisco's kind of a small suburb of Dallas-Fort Worth where I live. But it's booming. There's a lot of people who have dogs. There's a lot of young couples. So that kind of makes sense to me totally that it's safe up there, because that's one of their big calling cards, is that Frisco is a safe community. Glendale, California, Sioux Falls, Irvine, and Sunnyvale, all the same thing. They sort of have this halo around them as far as being safe for people as well as for pets. Fort Lauderdale, it's kind of, people are always visiting there, so that's part of it. Albuquerque, Tucson, Macon, Orlando. People come and go in Orlando because it's such a destination.
Sure.
So I think safety is reliant upon, small communities that are a little bit more close-knit than those places that people come to, and there's a lot of crime, a lot of transients.
Let's face it, there's extreme weather cities like Vegas. It's either cold or it's hot or it's right, Jeff?
Absolutely.
I'm sure it's go ahead.
I walk Bobo 4 times a day, but I go on long walks on the weekend, and we go all over, and he just loves to pick up other dog smells. So if I go to a neighborhood where there's other dogs and he can just sniff and sniff and sniff, he loves that a lot. He loves the new experience of a new neighborhood where there's lots of dogs.
And if that means Americans can get healthier, right? Because we know we're as overweight as many of our dogs. If we can get healthier, walking with a dog or walking with a group of friends is a good thing.
Absolutely. And you also asked about a question about services. And, one thing to remember is that when we looked at the services, the top 5 cities for the most dog walkers per 100,000 residents: Orlando, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Las Vegas, and Springfield. All of those cities are hub airport cities, which is interesting because those are people who they can't have dogs because Otherwise, they're traveling and there are flight attendants and all those different places. You can't have a dog unless somebody is there to walk your dog. So it kind of makes sense that all of those cities are kind of service-oriented cities because of hub airports. The last one was Springfield, Missouri. That's entertainment capital. So you've got a lot of people who are always at shows. So again, you need some people to walk your dog. So it makes sense. The cities that have the fewest dog walkers per 100,000 at St. Paul, Minnesota, New York, that's such a big city. So you don't have as many dog walkers per 100,000 residents as you would expect in a smaller city. Port St. Lucie again, Fremont, California, and Winston-Salem, North Carolina. But I found it really cool that those cities that have the most dog walkers are the ones that are cities where people are always on the go. So they do need people to help care for their dogs.
What's the next survey coming up?
Gosh, the next survey is the cheese lovers. And I think that comes out. It's actually on preview on my other screen right now. And that's the best city for cheese lovers. So it's not a dog story. It's not a cat story, but it's one of those stories. We have a strong connection to dog stories, though, because if you walk your dog, you have fewer of those yellow patches showing up in your yard because your dog is doing his business on somebody else's yard and somebody else's sidewalk or, at the dog park. So, we can help you with your yellow spots in your yard or dog friendly landscaping. But more than anything else, dog walking is important because it keeps your yard a little bit free of all of that other stuff that your dog would be doing.
Hey, tell us what your website is.
It's lawnstarter.com.
Well, thanks again.
Thanks for viewing our content on Pet Buzz Plus.